I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Tuesday, May the 21st, 2013. Israel's military chief issued a harsh warning to Syrian President Bashar Assad today, saying the Syrian leader would bear the consequences of any more attacks on Israeli forces near the Syrian border. This follows an incident in the Golan Heights last night, as you may have seen on IBA News, where an Israeli military jeep was fired upon 3 times while on patrol in the area by Syrian forces. The jeep suffered light damage and the IDF returned fire. Syria claimed that its forces destroyed the jeep and those in it, and claimed that the vehicle had crossed the ceasefire line into Syrian territory. Syria's foreign minister sent a written complaint to the United Nations today about the incident, which promised firm retaliation to what they called the blatant Zionist aggression. IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Benny Gantz strongly rejected the Syrian claims, saying the IDF jeep never crossed into Syrian territory. He further said, "We will not allow the Golan Heights to become a comfortable space for Assad to operate from. If he causes the situation on the Golan Heights to deteriorate," Gantz said, "he will have to bear the consequences." Reuters reports that Great Britain has filed a request for the European Union today to list Hezbollah as a terror organization. The move follows Bulgaria's accusation this past February that the Lebanese militant group was behind the bomb attack on a bus in Bulgaria's coastal city of Burgas that killed 5 Israelis and their Bulgarian bus driver last summer. A spokesman for the British Foreign Office said, "We firmly believe that an appropriate EU response to the Burgas bombing would be to designate Hezbollah's military wing as a terrorist organization." Israel and the United States have been pressing the EU to put Hezbollah on its terror list for some time, and President Obama reiterated this when he recalled the Burgas attack while visiting Israel this past March. Today's request from Britain will be discussed in early June in a special EU working group. The New York Police Department and Attorney General's Office are investigating the possible terror connections of a group of 16 Palestinians arrested in a cigarette smuggling ring last week. The men are accused of smuggling more than 1 million cartons of untaxed cigarettes from Virginia to be sold in stores across New York, with $55 million in sales uncovered so far, but only a fraction of that money has actually been found, and there is suspicion that a good part of it could have been funneled to terror groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. The Jewish Week reports that one of the 16 has been linked to the murder of a yeshiva student in a terror attack on the Brooklyn Bridge in 1994, where Rashid Baz opened fire on a minivan full of yeshiva students, killing 16-year-old Ari Halberstam. The guns that Baz used in the attack were suspected to have been supplied to him by Muafak Askar, one of the 16 arrested last week in the smuggling plot. Police Commissioner Ray Kelly also noted that Youssef Odeh, who is accused of being a distributor for the smuggling ring, has a connection to Omar Abdel Rahman, also known as the Blind Sheikh, who is in prison for his role in plotting the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. The 16 ring members arrested last week each now face up to 25 years in prison for money laundering and other crimes, and the police continue to investigate where the money went. Well, several Jewish organizations have responded to the devastating tornado that ripped through Moore, Oklahoma yesterday, killing at least 24 and injuring many others. The Jewish Federations of North America today announced the Oklahoma City Tornado Relief Fund, dedicated to gathering aid from across the Jewish Federation community for the victims, coordinating efforts with the Jewish Federation of Greater Oklahoma. B'nai B'rith International has joined the relief efforts as well, announcing today that it has opened its B'nai B'rith Flood, Tornado, and Hurricane Disaster Relief Fund to the Oklahoma victims. The fund last aided victims of Hurricane Sandy last fall, as well as victims of recent tornadoes in the South and Midwest. And the Union for Reform Judaism has opened a relief fund as well. They are working with congregations in the affected region in the relief efforts. Links to donate to each relief effort can be found at each organization's website. And finally today, one of the last remaining survivors of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, Baruch Spiegel, has died at the age of 93. Spiegel was one of about 750 Jewish fighters who on April the 19th, 1943, launched the uprising, and despite being overwhelmingly outnumbered, held out for a month against the Nazis, who ultimately destroyed the ghetto with only a few dozen Jews escaping, including Spiegel, who later joined the Polish partisans and took part in the 1944 Warsaw Uprising. Baruch Spiegel is survived by 2 children and 4 grandchildren. It's not clear how many Warsaw Ghetto fighters are still living, but officials in Warsaw recently said they believe that there could be as little as 4. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Tuesday, May the 21st, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader.